Hi, I'm Ken. Let's take a look at the latest additions to my stamp collection. This last weekend I went to WALPEX 2023. WALPEX is the Waltham Philatelic Exposition originally in Waltham, Massachusetts, but it's now moved out to Boxborough, Massachusetts. This year they're celebrating the Cape Cod Baseball League in stamps. They sent me this postcard, 2023, the 100th anniversary of the Cape Cod Baseball Leagues. That happened last weekend. A lot of dealers at the show. Here's an image of the show floor. It's a really nice show. It's the big show in the area, and it happens every year around this time. So I'm always excited for this show to happen. Notice on this postcard they sent me advertising it that the two stamps here aren't really canceled, although there is this little orange glow barcode reader that goes across the top. So I guess that counts as a cancel in some sense. It's just not how I think of a cancel. Anyway, nice show postcard from the show. The thing I most enjoy when I go to the show is going to something called the Fishbowl. This is the Fishbowl. The Fishbowl is initially set up, I think, largely for kids or early stage collectors, but I find it's a really great way for me to get the kind of stamps that I really enjoy adding to my collection. What happens is that box that I showed you has a whole bunch of tiny little packets inside of it, and each one of those packets you pay I think 25 cents a packet to get those packets into your hands, and inside each packet is maybe about 30 stamps. This is an example of the contents of about 10 packets worth, maybe. Anyway, you can see what kind of stamps are in here. I love what I get out of these packets because they're just the kind of stamps that you would never, ever buy individually because they're just not, they're not worth it to spend like 3 times what they cost to buy them at a show. I'll show you a few pictures of some of the stamps I got in these packets, but you can already see in here just a really nice variety of pretty common commemorative and definitive stamps. Here's a nice butterfly. So really nice selection of stamps in here. So they ask you to go looking through those packets, and they ask you to put the contents into some other envelopes so they can save the envelopes for next year. But the other thing that's going on with the Fishbowl is they put in some small selection of those packets, raffle tickets essentially, or lottery winning tickets. So if you pull one of those special prizes, you could either get another packet of stamps, or you could get one of the prizes they have at the desk. So anyway, that's part of the fun of it, is getting all these stamps for my collection. And another part of the fun of it is looking for those special prizes. I got $10 worth of those packets, and I'll just kind of keep laying those out so you kind of get a sense of what's in there. Like I said, some really nice stamps. Nothing particularly valuable. I do like to look at what other people around me who are looking through the Fishbowl collect and offer them stamps that I find in my packet that might fit their collection, especially if there's kids around. There was one kid who particularly liked cut squares, and so look at that right there, a nice AM Post stamp. He particularly liked cut square stamps. He called them heads, and so that's what he collected. So I took out the cut squares that I found before he left and gave him those cut squares. That was always nice to support a young collector. But anyway, you see a nice range of stamps. Here's a third pack of stamps. Boy, getting these out here, this makes a really nice background for a stamp video, doesn't it? Anyway, that's the third, and then finally one last packet. So I think we can agree that these are a pretty nice selection of stamps for just $10. And so I'm really thrilled with these. I'm sure, I've shown you some pictures as we've gone here, I'm sure that some of the stamps in here will fit into my collection. Again, stamps that would fit in my collection with no possibility that they would ever be something I would buy individually, because while these stamps each individually probably catalog for less than 10 cents, a dealer would have to sell them for 50 cents, and there's just no sense in buying something for 50 cents that catalogs for 10 cents. And indeed, where's the fun in that? I noticed this particular local tax stamp from Ohio. That's a fun little thing. I don't actually collect those, but they're kind of unusual to find in a lot. Anyway, that's what I got. In searching through those, I actually won two of the raffle prizes. The first one that I won was this set of stamps from Hong Kong. You can see that it was labeled as having a catalog value of $3.50, and that's great. Inside of here are 4 smaller packets of stamps. Let's get these out. And all of them are some really nice definitive stamps. Fit my collection very, very well. So I'm very happy with those stamps that came essentially as free for part of this $10 set of Fishbowl stamps. The second prize I got was this lot of Japanese stamps. It says right there, cataloging $33.80. But this is a mint set. I won't take it out of the package yet. A mint set. Let's see if I can bring it in closer and have you still see it. The light is not so good. A mint set of a modern set that I know from having done that recent Japanese video that I don't have but one of these stamps in my collection already. So these are a really nice addition to that Japanese collection I've been sharing with you. I think it's interesting as I do a video like this because I'm actually sharing a lot more about my own psyche of how I collect stamps with this video than almost any of the other videos I've done. Oh, something caught my eye as I was talking. I just want to point out this nice little find here. This is a zip label on a 5-cent Washington stamp. Again, kind of a nice little find. Again, you'd never pay extra for this in a lot, but it's nice to find it in the lot. That'll go into my collection as well. Anyway, a little bit of a look into the psyche of me as a collector, because you see, I waited all year for a stamp show to happen in my area, and when I went, I spent $10 on these very, very common stamps, and I think you'll get a sense of the kind of collector I am from seeing what I actually walked away from this show with. The next thing I bought at the show from the dealers was this one envelope. This one envelope is a Machen-like label that went on this mail. It's a printed label. It's not actually a stamp per se, but it very much looks like a Machen stamp, and so it seemed like a really nice addition to the Machen collection I have, showing kind of the way that the Brits maintain these themes throughout their stamp collecting world. Anyway, I'll cut this off the envelope. I don't really need to save the envelope. It's not that important to me. Cut this off the envelope. I think I'll try and make sure that I get it soaked off. I have a friend who has the right chemical to soak that kind of label off an envelope. This particular paper is probably not very good to store in a collection, so I'll try and get that off there. But anyway, I'm really happy with adding that to my Machen collection. The only other thing I bought in this collection was this booklet, this book right here. You can see it's labeled $12. It was in the bin for 20% off. 20% off? 10% off. I got it for $10. I think the book alone is probably worth $10. But anyway, this is exactly the kind of thing that I look for in a stamp show. A book that's going to have some value to it, something that'll give me some time to paw through. Let's take a spin through this book as we go. So inside of this book is a whole bunch of commemorative stamps from Russia at the start. Those are nice. More Russian stamps. These are not things that I tend to collect, but they came along in the booklet, so they're mine now. Again, more Russia. I think it gets different than that coming up here soon. More Russia, modern Russian commemoratives. These are, again, not my thing, but that's okay. More and more Russia, and I think we're going to end with the Russian pretty soon here. These right here are some Russian regular issues. Those will definitely check for my collection. They fit with the kind of thing I collect. I do have a Russian collector friend who's particularly into Russia used and space themes as well. So I think these stamps right here I'll give to her, and she'll enjoy those. Some more Russian space stamps. Those I think she'll enjoy. Nice thing to be able to share. One last Russian stamp on this page, although that's possible it could be a Finland stamp. I'll have to check that detail. Now we move on to Poland. Some really nice stamps from Poland. Again, commemoratives, not really my thing, but some space stamps she might be interested in. I moved to more Poland. Really great dinosaur stamps. I actually have a sense that these might be regular issues, but I'm going to have to double check that. Certainly these over here are regular issues, and I think I need those for my collection. We're going to have to see. On this page, we've got a whole bunch more regular issues. These are from Hungary. I don't know why I always want to say Hungaria, but that's not right. Anyway, Hungary stamps. They say Mygar Post on them, so these will be a nice thing to check for my collection. Some more space stamps. That's always fun if you're a theme collector. More Hungary regular issues here. Some animals. Those are fun. And we move on to Czechoslovakian stamps. Nice collection of Czechoslovakian stamps across the board here. Turning the page, we have Yugoslavia here at the bottom, Czechoslovakia at the top. It's a little hard to turn the page and not jump in front of the camera. We'll do that. Bulgaria here. Those are nice. Some regular issues going on down here and up here. This is some Spain at the top. Some Spanish territories, Portugal, nice Norwegian stamp here. That's an unusual thing to be just sitting in the middle of nowhere. What else have we got here? Romania. Nice stamps here at the bottom. Some more nice animals and fish. More Romania. More space. It is interesting how many countries emphasize space travel in their stamps of that period. Here we've moved on to some Belgian stamps. Some nice regular issues to look through there from Belgium. And we move to a section of French stamps. I know that these particular stamps, these coat of arms stamps, are something that I'm lacking in my collection, and so I'm sure there'll be some nice finds in there to fill out some spaces in my collection. I likely have most of these already, although it's still nice to see them here. Some nice Austrian stamps. I'll have to look up that one. That's a nice looking fit potentially for my collection there. Next, we move on to Germany. Almost every lot you get has a chunk of German stamps, although some of these are East German stamps, and those are always interesting to get. Even a nice, if I notice correctly, there's a nice Reich Post Germania stamp. Those are always fun to see in a lot. More Germany, more East Germany and West Germany. These larger Leipzig message stamps are always fun to find, a little harder to come across. Next, what do we have here? We come into some Italian stamps. Some Italian stamps, a little more Germany here. Some really nice things from Germany and Italy. Okay, Norway again. So, yep, some nice Norway, some Denmark, some Helvetica, that's Switzerland, and Sumi, that's Finland, and Sverige, Sweden. Those are nice. I'm trying to remember. I think that S.H. Quiperia, I can't pronounce that right. I think that's Albania, but I have to look that up to confirm every time. Not a country I'm a big collector of, but we'll check that out. What else have we got here? Oh, some Disney stamps. These are from San Marino. I tend to be a little bit disdainful of Disney stamps, not because I don't love Disney, but because I think that they don't have any real connection to the history or culture of the countries that print Disney stamps. I think they're there really to just kind of lure in collectors. You know, in some way, I don't get bothered by it so much when they come from the U.S. because at least Disney is a U.S. Product originally. I could be convinced differently, but anyway, I generally don't love these Disney stamps, but there are a lot of collectors who just think they're the most beautiful thing, and they are kind of cool. I do think they're pretty. More San Marino. We move on to Netherlands and Honduras. Excellent. I also think it's interesting, especially in South America, but also in some parts of Europe, a lot of stamps featuring Abraham Lincoln, trying to do some ties to the U.S. with Abraham Lincoln on their stamps. It's fascinated me for a long time. We're coming closer to the end here. I've got some Brazil, Argentina, Bolivia, Liberia. A lot of nice stamps to look over here. Next, we're into Chile, Cuba, Costa Rica, Nicaragua. Yep, there's another picture of Lincoln there. Fascinating. Maybe I'll pull together a collection of just Lincoln as a topical. That might be an interesting thing to do. I think we're coming to the end. Afghanistan, those are unusual stamps. Some Monaco. Monaco stamps are always really colorful and fancy looking. South Africa is always a nice country to collect. They have some really beautiful animals on their stamps, some nice regular issues there. And what do we end here? Belgian Congo, I think. Yeah, Belgian Congo with some really beautiful flowers. I think those will be a nice addition to my collection. Anyway, that's that set. The last thing I want to show you is this postcard I got. This postcard is from World Postcard Day, which was October 1st, 2023. This postcard comes to me from Charnie of, what's her channel called? Charnie is from Amazing Stamp Adventure. I'll put a link in the notes to her station. Charnie is just infectious about her stamp collecting journey. She's been new to stamp collecting, but has gone at it gangbusters and is just really a friend of the hobby. Thank you, Charnie, for sending me out this postcard. She's got some really nice New Zealand stamps on here. Charnie's from New Zealand. Charnie, I'll put up a note here, but I took this card with me to the stamp show. I took this card with me to the stamp show, and I think here's an image of the card at the front of the stamp show. I know how much you like going to stamp shows, and so I thought I'd honor you a little bit by bringing your card instead of you to this stamp show in your place. I hope you enjoyed the WALFAM Stamp Show, and so until next time, bye.